Hello ladles and jelly spoons. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are finally taking a detailed look at my custom moonshine operation. And it's been a long time coming. This has been built since March. It's now May. And I'm actually getting this thing all together because it is going in a museum. That's right, it's going into the Ferrum University Museum. They have a historical sort of heritage-like exhibit that goes on, and I was able to get in touch with them, and they were interested in displaying it. So I wanted to make a nice detailed video before I take it off to be displayed and put behind the glass. So that's what we're going to do today. And I'm going to try to go over every little detail that I put into this thing. So here we go. This might take a while. So when it came to building this moonshine operation, I wanted to include all the elements of moonshining, and that included one of the most important things, which was paying off the police. So here you can see this head moonshiner is paying off this police officer to look the other way, and that's exactly what he's doing. He has brought his girlfriend with him. She's got a basket and already got a nice jar of shine, wearing a nice big fur coat because back in the day, women took advantage of the the ability to not be frisked. So they wore big coats and they stored as much of the bootlegged alcohol as they could. So that's what you see there. And behind them, you can see that there is, a horse-drawn wagon with some barrels of corn. This guy right here, he's unloading the corn, loading it up into this here crate, where this gentleman is shelling and shucking. Well, he's shelling and grinding. So you can see he's got both his shelled corn and his ground up corn. Next in the process, you've got this guy who's adding malt to the mash, essentially. Or I don't think it's a mash at this point, but yeah, it's going to be a mash. So he's adding it to the mash. You would call all of your ingredients in a moonshine operation your bill. So this is a part of the bill. And I made them in these red cans with green lids because back during the Prohibition times, Budweiser, they couldn't sell alcohol, and they instead sold malt. So this is an example of what that can actually looked like. So I'm showing that here. I decided to create a ladybug tree, one that's kind of infested, and I was able to put a lantern on that tree to kind of help light up their operation there, because this is all done at night in the woods, and they had to keep the lights down to a minimum, if not any at all. Most of the time it would be only the moonshine that was lighting their operation, so hence the name Moonshine. We've got also back here some barrels stacked up, and in front of that barrel is a goat. A lot of times you'd have a goat to help kind of clear out stuff, eat all your scrap, whatever. Behind that goat is a mouse who has found some corn that's gotten loose. And up here is a cat that's supposed to be after that mouse, but is being distracted by a bird in the trees, naturally. If we come back down here, we've got a secret little Easter egg. You've got a bunny down in its den, surrounded by the, thorns in the brush with a little lettuce or whatever, just snacking down there. I just noticed that this just snapped off. Put that back. There we go. Also in the back, if you look very closely, there's a little jug of moonshine kind of just hidden back there. If we look back behind these trees, you can see a Model A truck that's actually hauling some shine up the mountain. This guy, he is looking pretty concerned. And he's got a really nice set of headlights. Look at that, all lit. Look at that hood ornament. Classic. At the top of the hill, we've got the revenuers. You think I'd forget about them? Oh no, I did not. The revenuers were the ones that were coming to really stop the operation, because unlike the police, who are getting paid off, these guys were not getting paid. They were not paying taxes when they were making the moonshine, and so these guys lost profit. So they made sure that this money-making business was going to end. And they do that by bringing out some guys with dynamite. They were armed. They weren't always the brightest, but they were pretty bad. Like this guy. He's got a lit torch there. Got some guys with some guns, handcuffs, and then you would always have a really good photographer. So the idea is that you would want perfect timing to catch the perfect photo of this whole still blowing up. And that's what that guy was there for. I've got some hidden little eyes behind him too. They're creepy in the woods. Got a little buck up here, or a big buck, I should say. And then if you look right under the buck, you can see there's this really nice kind of stream coming out of the rock face there. And that is a natural spring that is feeding the still. So basically, the still here, in all of its detail, is basically a trash can that's been buried under a bunch of mud, special red mud that has been imported. You can see this guy right here has got his shovel and his wheelbarrow. That mud is imported because that red clay isn't really found in the mountains where this is being taken place. So we've got imported mud. They've got a copper still built up behind that. It's heated up. They've even got a chimney set up. And then you've got your barrels, you've got your thumper keg, and then you've got your worm, which is going to cool down your liquor. And that is why we need a fresh supply of spring water, which makes this the perfect place to do such an operation. And I've got more details if you look really close here in the still. We've got a fried egg there just being cooked on the grill. Take advantage of the heat. And then beside that, you have this guy in his overalls, and he's got a blue flame coming from the lid of his mason jar. And that's where he is testing to see if it is flammable. Because if it's flammable, believe it or not, it's drinkable. This guy right here is actually marking every single one of the jars that is coming through, making sure that he's keeping up with the heads, the hearts, and the tails of his production. He's also got some brand new jars here. He's cracked open with this crowbar. And in the back, you've got a guy who's actually using dough to patch up any of these loose fittings right here. Don't want any leaks because you're losing valuable liquor. Another little jug back there. Let's see what else we have. Two fiddle, well, we got a fiddle player and we've got a banjo player here just kind of jamming out. It's not uncommon to see or hear during some moonshining. Some guys would play to the thumping of the thumper and would keep their time that way. And it was fun. And they had a good old time. So I also made some really nice details in this tree, including this robin and its gray egg. I'm sorry, not robin, that's a cardinal and its gray egg. And then I wanted to do a oyster mushroom here coming off the tree. Just something you see a lot here. So also in the very back, right under the revenuer's nose, is a stump full of moonshine, just like in the song. All right, so if we move back and kind of backtrack a little bit, you can see that this little kid is actually slicing up some apples for the mash, because a lot of people want some apple pie moonshine. And there are sacks and sacks of sugar, because that's what's most important in making a big yield of liquor. So you'd have chickens, you know, that's how you're getting your eggs over there for lunch. And if you had somebody make a mistake like dumping over their mash, sometimes the chicken would be the lucky guy and they'd get a little snack. So I have that detail there. Let's see, what else do we have? There's also a Easter egg, another one here hidden. And this one's more for the kids. I tell them if they can find Bigfoot out in the woods. So they look and they search. And usually I have to give them a hint that if you can find the entrance to the cave, you can usually find Bigfoot. So if you look really close, you can see a cave. And you can see Bigfoot back there. Yeah, the kids love that. Let's see if we can get another angle. Yeah, there he is. So that's just a fun little detail I added there. As well as this fish underwater. A little ducky back there. I have an owl up in the tree. I also have what I think is an African eagle, which I think it came from a safari set. If this would focus. Really doesn't want to. There we go. I mean, it looks just like a buzzard, just like a vulture. So I just put that up there. It looks way cooler than an eagle, and I think it works really, really well. We've also got some bats flying around in the background and some clouds because, like I said, it's nighttime. This is supposed to represent the moon and some stars through the trees in different spots. We've got some spider details in between these trees because you're always going to run into some spider webs out in the woods. And on the back side, to cover up and kind of hide my crimes, I built this latticed wall of just foliage. Lots of leaves, a few sticks. I think it looks awesome. And I did the same thing over here on this side, just as a kind of a strip. But I think it does the trick. Added some little mushrooms. The keep out sign. And I've added a couple squirrels up here. Let's see if I can get a squirrel. Yep. Oh, come on, I want to see him up close. Oh well. Let's think about these phones. And another squirrel up there. Also, this is a honeysuckle bush. And of course, he's gotten a little too close and he's getting stung. So, thought I'd add that fun little detail. Other than that, that's really all that's going on in the build itself. But there are more things going on behind the scenes. So, if we come around back, you can see our main support structure, which has been Duplo, the secret sauce of my build. It takes so much less to use it and it works really well. Also, I had to really light this bad boy up, and I used Brix Max as a kind of standard system. I bought the Sesame Street light kit and never lit it up, and it turns out that I had just the right parts to do, or just the right lights to work on this. So that's what they were used for. Here you can see some of the details, like mounting the backs of the clouds and the bats with those clear little sticks. And that's about it. This is one of my favorite builds. Obviously, it's my biggest, and it took the most time, but also the fact that I was able to win an award, and I was able to kind of create a history lesson around this thing. Really made it worthwhile, and I'm hoping that I'll be able to go to Chantilly and show it. I have no idea if I will be able to or not, but that's kind of the goal. I would love to be featured on Beyond the Brick. That would be so cool. But wishful thinking, we'll see. I was really tickled with the fact that I won that brickie, so who knows? That could be the next thing. And won't be long here. I'll be working on a new project that's related to history and some kind of location here in Southwest Virginia. But until next time, thank you all for taking the time to watch this video. If you have any comments or questions, please feel free to leave them. Make sure you like and subscribe. And until next time, bye-bye.